Ye anila premadana karuna pracho Hena Prabhu Kotagela Acharya Thakur Hena Prabhu Kotagela Acharya Thakur Kaha Mora Swarup Rupa Kaha Sanatan Kahadasa Raghunatha Patita Pavan Kahamara Bhatta Yuga Kaha Kabira Eka Kale Kota Kela Goranatara Ashane Kutiba Mata Naleba Shiva Gauranga Gunera Nidhi Kotagele Pamo Se Sabasangira Sangye Ye Kolo Vilas Se Sangana Paya Kande Narotamada Yanila Premadana Karuna Pracho Hena Prabhu Kotagela Acharya Thakur So today is the disappearance of Shivananda Sain and Swarup Damodar, so two great great devotees, great Vaishnavas, great saints within this tradition. And of course, sometimes people may wonder, okay, well, you celebrate somebody's birthday, right? That kind, it makes sense, right? Somebody's birthday, but why would you celebrate the day somebody leaves? So the idea is that just as the rising of the sun is very beautiful, right? The rising of the sun, people, they get up in the morning sometimes and see the rising of the sun. But more commonly, you could say people, at least in the Western world, they go and they look at the sun setting. So the sun rising is considered to be like the birth of a great, devotee, and the sun setting is considered to be like his disappearance. So, and after his disappearance, ideas you remember, and then what the idea is that we have witnessed his life or her life, the saintly qualities. So that's why we celebrate also disappearance. So I'll just read the translation of the song. So the idea is that this song is Narottam Das feeling separation from all these great devotees who disappeared, who left the world. So he writes, "He who brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with compassion and mercy, where has such a personality as Srinivasacharya gone? Where are my Swarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatan? Where is Raghunath Das, the savior of the fallen? Where are my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopal Bhatta, and where is Krishnadas Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head against a rock and enter into fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all these devotees, in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottam Das simply weeps." Alright, so before we do the class, I'll just read about Shivananda Sain and Swarup Damodar, short excerpts from their lives, or short description of their lives. I'm reading from book Gaudiya Vaishnava Samadhis. Okay. Every year, 1 month before Chaturmasya, 4-month period of the rainy season, Shivananda Sain will lead a party of 200 devotees from Bengal to Jagannath Puri. So what's the distance of that? Six, 700 miles. Okay, so back then, one way. In Shivananda Sain's time, they wouldn't take train or anything like that. They'd walk. So it said Shivananda Sain would lead a party of 200 devotees from Bengal to Jagannath Puri, 700-mile trip, to attend the annual Rath Yatra festival, which is actually going on today in Jagannath Puri. It's a big festival there. He would pay for everyone's food, tolls, ferries, and lodging. He personally arranged for their comfort. Shivananda Sain showed Vaishnava compassion for all living entities, be they man or beast. When a stray dog joined the party, Shivananda Sain fed the dog, even paid for his boat fare. When the dog disappeared one day, Shivananda sent 200 men to search for him. Upon arriving in Puri, they saw Lord Chaitanya throwing coconut pulp to the dog. The dog became purified of all material contamination by eating the Mahaprasadam remnants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not seeing the dog the next day, Shivananda Sain understood that the dog had attained liberation by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So the dog went back to Godhead, right? Observing Chaturmasya in Puri, Shivananda and the devotees would regularly bathe in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blissful association. Shivananda used all his possessions in the service of Krishna and the Vaishnavas. His entire family and servants were ardent followers of Lord Gauranga. Kavi Karnapur, the son of Shivananda Sain, says in Gaura Ganadish Deepika, Shivananda Sain is the embodiment of love of Sri Chaitanya Dev, and in Krishna Leela he is Vira Gopi, Srimati Radharani's messenger. In one bhajan, Devaki Nandan Das glorifies him. I bow down to Shivananda Sain, who is full of divine love. His caste, life, and wealth are the two lotus feet of Sri Gora Hari. So that's a little bit about Shivananda Sain. And then next about Swarup Damodar Goswami. One of the closest associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Purushottamacharya Swarup, knew exactly the heart of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Glorifying him as the storehouse of all devotional mellows, Lord Chaitanya added the word Damodar to his name. Swarup Damodar revealed to the world the innermost emotions of Sri Chaitanya's mood of Radharani feeling separation from Krishna. Sensing Lord Gauranga's mood, Swarup Damodar would perform kirtan to enhance the Lord's internal sentiments. To soothe Lord Chaitanya's love pangs in separation, he would sing songs from Gita Govinda, Krishna Karnamrita, and the poems of Chandidas and Vidyapati. Throughout the day and night, Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy stayed near Sri Chaitanya in order to nourish his pastimes. He is one of the 3 1/2 most intimate devotees of Lord Chaitanya, Ramananda Roy, Sika Mahiti, and Madhavi Devi. Just as Lalit and Vishaka are Radharani's dearest gopis, Swarup Damodar, who is Vishaka, and Ramananda Roy, Lalita, are Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's most confidential associates. Swarup Damodar was the guardian of the Gaudiya devotees. So whenever a devotee misbehaved, Lord Gaurasundar would say, "Swarup, your Gaudiya did such and such." Swarup Damodar would personally check for grammatical or philosophical flaws in any newly written verse, song, or book before giving it to Lord Chaitanya for his approval. So devotees would write verses, and then before it was presented to Lord Chaitanya, it had to go through Swarup Damodar. Krishnadas Kaviraj used Swarup Damodar's Karcha, Memories of Sri Chaitanya's Life, to compile the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Swarup Damodar Goswami also wrote Sangita Damodar, a book of music. So that's a little bit about Swarup Damodar. Okay. Uh-oh. We're down with Bhagavatam. I don't know if we have a copy downstairs here. Somebody might have to go upstairs and get a copy. Do you think you could do that? There's one in the room. I don't think so. I think it's for part 2, right? Or is it part 1? Is it part 1? Okay. So the verse is Canto 4, Chapter 2, Text 35. It's the last verse of the chapter. So tomorrow we're starting a new chapter. Pluyava Brityam. Excuse me. What is it? We need Dravida Prabhu here, huh? Pluyavritam. Apulyavritam yatra. What is it? Yes. Apuyavabritam yatra Ganga Yamuna Yavita Virajenatmana sarve swam swam dhamma yuyustata apuyava britam yatra Ganga Yamuna Yanvita Virajinatmana Sarve Swam Swam Dhamma Yuyustata Apuyava Pritam Yatra Ganga Yamuna Yanvita Virajinatmana sarve swam swam dhamma yuyustata Virajinatmana sarve swam swam dhamma yuyustata Apuyava Pritam Yatra Ganga Yamuna Virajinatmana sarve swam swam dhamma yuyustata. Okay, word by word translation. Apulya, taking a bath. Avabritam, the bath which is taken after performing sacrifices. Yatra, where? Ganga, the river Ganges. Yamunaya, by the river Yamuna. Anvita, mixed. Virajena, without infection. Atmana, by the mind. Sarve, all. Swam swam, their respective. Dhamma, abodes. Yuyuhu, went. Tataha, from there. Okay, translation. My dear Vidura, carer of bows and arrows, all the demigods who were performing the sacrifice took their bath at the confluence of the Ganges and the Yamuna after completing the yajna performance. Such a bath is called Avabrita Snan. After thus becoming purified in heart, they departed for their respective abodes. Purport. After Lord Shiva and, previously, Daksha left the arena of sacrifice, the sacrifice was not stopped. The sages went on for many years in order to satisfy the Supreme Lord. The sacrifice was not destroyed for want of Shiva and Daksha, and the sages went on with their activities. In other words, it may be assumed that if one does not worship the demigods, even up to Lord Shiva and Brahma, one can nevertheless satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 20. Kamas tastar hitagyana prapadyante nadevata. Persons who are impelled by lust and desire go to the demigods to derive some material benefit. Bhagavad Gita uses the very specific words, nasti buddhi, meaning persons who have lost sense or intelligence. Their sense or intelligence. Only such persons care for demigods and want to derive material benefit from them. Of course, this does not mean that one should not show respect to the demigods, but there is no need to worship them. One who is honest may be faithful to the government, but he does not need to bribe the government servants. Bribery is illegal. One does not bribe a government servant, but that does not mean that one does not show him respect. Similarly, one who engages in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord does not need to worship any demigod, nor does he have any tendency to show disrespect to the demigods. Elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 23, it is stated, Ye pi anya devata bhaktya yajantihi shad anvita. The Lord says that anyone who worships the demigods is also worshipping him, but he is worshipping avidhi purvakam, which means without following the regulative principles. The regulative principles to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Worship of demigods may indirectly be worship of the Personality of Godhead, but it is not regulated. By worshipping the Supreme Lord, one automatically serves all the demigods, because they are part and parcels of the whole. If one supplies water to the root of a tree, all the parts of the tree, such as the leaves and branches, are automatically satisfied. And if one supplies food to the stomach, all the limbs of the body, the hands, legs, fingers, etc., are nourished. Thus, by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can satisfy all the demigods. But by worshipping all the demigods, one does not completely worship the Supreme Lord. Therefore, worship of the demigods is irregular, and it is disrespectful to the scriptural injunctions. In this age of Kali, it is practically impossible to perform the Deva Yajna, or sacrifices to the demigods. As such, in this age, Srimad Bhagavatam recommends Sankirtan Yajna. Yajna Sankirtana Prayar Yajantihi Samedasa. Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, Text 32. In this age, the intelligent person completes the performances of all kinds of yajnas simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tasmin Tushte Jagat Tushta. When Lord Vishnu is satisfied, all the demigods who are part and parcels of the Supreme Lord are satisfied. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 2nd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Daksha Curses Lord Shiva. So tomorrow's the next. Om Aganitibadandasya Kananjana Shalakaya Chakshulam Malitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Kam Karivachalam Pangam Langayate Gidim Yakripatamaham Vande Shigrindin Taranam Vancha Kapadubhisha Kipasindibhevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada, he mentions in the purport this idea of worshipping the demigods. So within Vedic tradition, there are so many gods. How many gods are there? What is it? 33 million. Yeah, 33 million, 30 billion, a lot. So. Yeah, sufficient amount. And of course, I mean, people, they can't worship all the demigods because it's just, I mean, I'm thinking of like an altar. You know, you have an altar and you put all the, it won't fit, they won't fit. But generally people pick out the demigods who who will satisfy their desires. Like people, they want freedom from obstacles, they worship Ganesh, and they want money, they worship this demigod, and so on. So, Prabhupada mentions demigod worship, and the idea behind it is that people, they want immediate results. They want immediate results, and specifically, they want, the material aspirations fulfilled. So, this is an interesting idea because you know, this idea of wanting quick results, it's actually born out of the mode of passion. And what to speak of wanting quick results in relation to material aspirations, that's definitely born out of the mode of material passion. As Krishna says, there's three modes, right, of material nature: goodness, passion, ignorance. And the lower modes of material nature, passion, ignorance, are modes that disturb one's consciousness, you know, certain ways of living, acting, existing, right, that disturb our consciousness. You know, it's a state of agitation, and it's not a good agitation. So the mode of passion, so the idea is that this is born from the mode of passion, this wanting quick results, and what to speak of wanting quick results in relation to material aspirations. But even wanting quick results in relation to spiritual aspirations, you could say, can be fueled, not all the time, but can be fueled and born from the mode of passion. Why? Because the quality of goodness is patience, right? Rupa Goswami says in his Nectar of Instruction, Utsaha nishyadarya tat tat karma pavartana, that by enthusiasm and the term patience, he mentions patience, one of the qualities, that by having this quality and engaging in Krishna consciousness, one will make advancement and reach the goal, one of the qualities that are needed. So, of course, we could say, hey, well, isn't it transcendental, you know, my desire to, right, be perfect immediately? Well, maybe, but maybe not. So like Narottam Das Thakur and other acharyas, other teachers, they have so many songs where they say, I'm longing for that day where while I'm chanting the holy name of Krishna, the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, my hairs stand on end, I cry, and you know, I feel that connection with Krishna, right? So they're longing for that. But the acharyas, they're also patient. You know, in other words, if Krishna wants to give that, fine, great, wonderful. But if he doesn't give it, they're still gonna worship Krishna. They're not gonna give it up. Worship of Krishna. So that's the difference between, you could say, the mode of passion and transcendental or spiritual emotion or spiritual inspiration, is that one is that when engaged in activity, what is the result, in other words? So, for example, we had this bhakta, right? And he was very eager to, you know, relish the holy name and, you know, experience the spiritual reality of meditating on Krishna and all these different things. Very, very, right? And he wanted it, and he wanted quick results, which I could see was born out of the mode of passion, you know, born out of the desire for the selfish desires for, you know, personal enjoyment. And what was the proof of that? A very, very easy to understand, very simple proof, right? Which I'll tell you right now. The proof was that, you know, he was chanting his, you know, Hare Krishna on his beads, you know, and Hare Krishna, very enthusiastically, right? And it just wasn't happening, you know, the spiritual reality wasn't descending, you know, Krishna wasn't there, he wasn't experiencing wasn't hearing the flute, right? Yeah. Krishna's flute. So he was going, but the opposite was happening. He's having trouble with his mind was going over the place, and, you know, he's having a hard time. So in the process of his chanting, he just, you know, he grabbed his japa bead bag and he just threw his beads like this, you know, threw it against the ground. So it's born out of the mode of passion, you know, wasn't transcendental. And it's called being impatient. But he picked him up later, and he's still a devotee. So I think he's in Colorado, but he's still a devotee. So yeah, we have to be careful that our desires are not being inspired by the mode of the mode of passion in relation to attaining our spiritual goals. In that we're being patient. I mean, yeah. So the demigod worshippers, they're fueled by the mode of passion. They want that, immediate results, material benefit. And Srila Prabhupada, he there's a quote by Srila Prabhupada, and I'm not sure if he's quoting his spiritual. I think he's quoting his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he says this in relation to Krishna, but we could also say this in relation to demigods. That so those out there who are worshiping demigods, you could. So he says that if you go to Krishna and you ask for something material, it's just like going to a king, right? And you say, the king could give you anything. He could give you, let's just say, theoretically, there was a king of SanDiego. There's not, but we could just say, let's say there was, SanDiego Maharaj or something, right? Maharaj is king, so SanDiego king. So let's just say we go up to him and say, okay, hey, I would like all the property of Pacific Beach, right? I would like the whole property, and then we could be like a new Mayapur, build a big temple and whatever, invite a whole bunch of devotees, throw out the neighbors, throw out the party animals, right? And invite a whole bunch of devotees, right? Hold big kirtans and prasadam and all that. So the king of SanDiego, if there was one, he could theoretically do that because he owns everything, right? And he owns SanDiego. But if I go up to the king and I say, "Oh, my dear king," that's what Prabhupada says. "Oh, my dear king, can you please give me a pinch of ashes?" So a pinch of ashes, it's like, what on earth can you do with a pinch of ashes? What can you do with any amount of ashes? I don't know, maybe you could do something, but yeah, good fertilizer. So so that's what he says in relation to asking for material things from Krishna. He can give us a lot more than that. So the process of Krishna consciousness, it has to be followed in a particular way in order to get the proper result. So in other words, like Bajranarayan Swami was mentioning the other day, I believe he was mentioning this idea of like you sign a contract or something, and like the terms and conditions, like, okay, if you join this company, this is what you'll get. You will get whatever, what is it called, 401k, or you get a retirement plan, you get this, you get that, whatever. You get something, right? The terms and conditions. If you do this, if you work a certain amount of years, and so on. So yeah, we have to know what you could say are the terms and conditions. We have to know what we are getting ourselves into, and in other words, not have false expectations. So nowhere is it really said that, oh, you'll get immediate results in the sense of, become like a, what do you call that, a Purusha or a Mahapurusha or something, like a perfected being, after joining for a few months or a few years or something like that. In other words, the perfection's not immediate, it's gradual. Although Srila Prabhupada did say, on certain occasions, depending on our sincerity, it could be a lot quicker. So it's really depending on the individual. And there's a very interesting, I'll read something that Prabhupada said. He was in Germany. Prabhupada goes to Germany. There's a book, Srila Prabhupada and His Disciples in Germany, written by Vedavyas Das, which I think now he took Sanya, I forgot his name now, but so it's actually quite amazing. Prabhupada sent this devotee Shivananda Sen. It was Shivananda Sen's disappearance. So today, so he sent this devotee Shivananda Sen Das, who I wasn't actually sure if he was American or not, but okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Very sincere.
Yeah. So Shivananda saying he was in Canada and Prabhupada asked him, he said, you go to Germany. Or Shivananda, he expressed some desire to preach this and that, and then Prabhupada said, okay, you go to Germany. And then Prabhupada sent a few other of his disciples there. Krishnadas and Shivananda saying. And it was interesting because, I mean, they didn't know German, and they would give their Sunday feast talk, and I was reading a remembrance that devotees were saying in this book, and then they said, oh yeah, he was very sincere, but I mean, we couldn't make out what he was saying, about the talk, So anyways, in Germany, Srila Prabhupada said this, so I'll read it because it's in relation to what we're talking about. Srila Prabhupada then added a fascinating explanation about relativity. Quote, so it requires relative intelligence. This world is relative. One can become immediately Krishna conscious within a second. Or one may not become Krishna conscious even after many, many births. So it is relative. If you have got sufficient intelligence, you can accept it immediately. If there's less intelligence, then it will take time. You cannot say that it will be possible after so many years. That cannot be said. It is relative. Everything is relative. For a human being, from here to here, 1 step, and for a small microbe, it is 10 miles from here to here, 10 miles for him. So everything is relative. This world is relative world. There is no such formula that one can be Krishna conscious after so many years. No, there is no such formula. One may not become Krishna conscious even after millions of births, and one can become Krishna conscious within a second. That's not very long, right? Second. But within this life, we cannot become perfect in Krishna consciousness. But within this life, we can become perfect in Krishna consciousness if we take it seriously. Especially, you are all young boys. We expect you'll live at least 50 more years. So Prabhupada's talking to all of his disciples. They're in their 20s or whatever. Oh, that is sufficient time. Sufficient. More than sufficient. More than sufficient. If for 50 years one chants simply, Hare Krishna, he is sure to become perfect. There is no doubt about it. Simply if you chant this mantra, Hare Krishna, oh, there's no doubt about it. So yeah, it goes on. But so the intelligence, as the purport saying that one who's intelligently engaged in the Sankirtan movement of chanting Hare Krishna. And yes, depending on their sincerity. But again, we should really, we shouldn't be expecting, it's actually quite insensitive on our part in relation to Krishna, to us be expecting some absolute wonderful results, even immediately. In other words, we shouldn't feel like we deserve it. And the last thing I'll say is that I was talking with a devotee recently, and they were telling me that there was this young man, and he married a young woman, and they had a child. And this child was 2 years old or something. And then the guy one day, he dropped off his wife and his child at his mom's house. And he said, oh yeah. He said, I'll be back, And the guy leaves. And I was thinking, oh, maybe the guy takes sannyas or something, but he didn't take sannyas. But the guy leaves, and literally, he didn't come back for 10 years. And he just came back recently, a devotee was telling me. Yeah, true story. He didn't come back for 10 years, I don't know. I don't think so. But maybe he told that story. Hey, I went to the store and I got beamed up by aliens. Sorry, I've been gone for 10 years. But then he comes back and his wife and his kid is still there at his mom's house. And then somehow they get back together and now they moved to East Coast. And I was thinking, man, that woman, she's really patient or something. But it was just kind of strange. You'd think, oh, she would probably be mad at him. She would ditch him. She would have found somebody else in the meantime, et cetera, et cetera. So many things. She wouldn't have accepted him when he came back. Man, this guy's a loser. Ditches me for 10 years and he wants to come back. What's wrong with him, In other words, for him to do that and expect her to open the door and say, oh, hey, welcome home, honey. I haven't seen you for a while. And, hey, want me to cook you dinner? It's kind of weird, So similarly, if you think about the philosophy of Krishna, we ditch Krishna, we kind of, all right, Krishna, see you later. And then we're in this world for however long, millions of lifetimes, this and that, whatever. even if it was just years, even if it was just the amount of years we've been forgetting Krishna, last 20 years. And we're like, hey, Krishna, hey, I'm home, we're expecting like a warm embrace or something. Of course, Krishna is very merciful, but on our part, we shouldn't be, expecting such quick reciprocation. It's actually quite insensitive. Because if we did it in this life, the only reciprocation might get a fist in our nose or something, that would be the reciprocation. So Krishna doesn't do that. He's actually very kind, but it does take some time for us to, you could say, rebuild, for Krishna to rebuild our trust in us, So anyways, does anyone have any questions or comments? Yes. Not repentant heart?
It's not repentant.
Oh.
But it means someone who is deeply sorry and
Yeah.
willing to change their way to better.
Yeah.
I think that's what Krishna's actually waiting for us to do.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Krishna.
And then sincerity out
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, so many of the, the sincere practitioners of different religious paths, they agree on, certain points like this, I'm sure anybody who's trying to connect with God or Krishna or whatever name they say, they'll agree on these points, if they're sincere and, serious practitioners. So it's an interesting idea. So yeah, we got to feel a little sorry. Like if we ditch out on somebody, then yeah, when we're trying to come back, we got to feel a little sorry. Hey, sorry, I was gone for a little while, and please forgive me, and yeah, I was gone for a while, and sure.
Prabhupada said it's like waking up from a dream.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, in a dream, isn't so many birds and where is Krishna? Why did I have to suffer? Why did you do it this way instead of that way? Where were you? There's all those doubts. But if you think about it, in a dream, time can seem to go on for quite some time.
Yeah.
But really only for just a second. So our absence from the spiritual world is really just a passing thought. You think, what's Krishna center? What about me? Oh, isn't it in the 12th canto when Markandeya asks Narada, what is the spiritual solution? And he goes down. He goes down to Vedas. Narada Muni regrets that he asks it, but says, all right, I'll show you.
Yeah, Markandeya.
River, bathing his asana, loose in the river, and then all of a sudden he's, had lifetimes of whole creation, and drawn into Mahavishnu, and he just feels devastated, the whole thing. And then all of a sudden he wakes up and Narada Muni said, hey, now you know how we tangle, how we falls in, how it works. So on one hand we should never be angry with Krishna. It's the fastest way we can get out of this world. If we think about it. Just like a dream. Passing thought. Which shows the significance of all the things we're in anxiety about, attached to, proud of.
Yeah. All right. Great.
Anybody proud of their dream? People proud? Oh, you wrote the line. But anybody, if you dreamt you were king, did you wake up being proud about it?
Oh man, I was a really great king, Especially you're happy to wake up when it's a nightmare, So, anyways. All right. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Okay. Now it's breakfast.